What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going. Today we've got Microsoft, Bane, and Mirana Ganks versus Nvidia, representing Nvidia. So this is the round of 16 in the playoffs from a few weeks ago now. I'm still catching up on games a little bit, but this is going to be the last game of the round of 16 that I have to cast because there were a lot of no-shows, it seems like. But anyway, so this is played on a slightly earlier patch, 7.22b, but it's still going to be a different patch to what the rest of the tournament was played on so far before this week. So let's hop into the draft. We've already seen some different stuff coming out here. The Warlock being banned out because Warlock is super strong in this patch, and somehow he still manages to make it through the draft in pro games. I guess IO is a slightly bigger threat here. This is the patch before IO got his spirits nerfed, so it's probably might come up in this series.
Radiant's turn to royalist druid. Dire team are now picking.
And seems like some pretty targeted bans from Nvidia. All of THC's heroes in particular. He's been playing a lot of Oracle, Darkseid, and Enigma in this tournament. And Bane and Mirana Ganks, they're going to open with Sand King. So Sand King is pretty popular these days. My bad. And yeah, I mean, he got slightly nerfed in this patch, but like it's not a whole lot. Just the Sandstorm being nerfed by like 5 damage points per level, but it's not enough to make a difference. Now, Nvidia's gonna open with Ogre, and I think Ogre's in a weird spot right now. I don't think he's quite viable yet. His cast ranges are really low. Well, Fire Blast has this pretty small cast range, and Ignite doesn't feel like the most impactful spell, but there's definitely some meme factor potential here with the multi-cast Midas, and Nvidia also going to pick Shadow Shaman, so a lot of stuns already. But Grimstroke and Sand King, what a nasty duo. You get the double Burrow Strike, and it's a pretty strong lane as well. So I think maybe Ogre will be the 4th position this game, and then he's going to build an early Midas and try and build some items that'll give him some utility to stay relevant in the mid game, because sometimes it does feel like Ogre just becomes this like bloodlust butt in the late game. But if you can get enough items, an Aether Lens and maybe an Ag Scepter, you can do a lot with a Fire Blast as well. They do a pretty decent chunk of damage, especially the Ags one. Also, a slight buff to Ogre. He's level. The 2 times multicast went up from 70 to 75%. It doesn't sound like a big change, but it's okay. It almost feels like you're pretty much guaranteed to get a multicast usually. Let's look at the statistics on this one. Ogre Magi. I don't have the exact numbers memorized, but it's 75%, 30%, and 15. Let's bring up my trusty calculator. But in the meantime, a couple progressions in the draft. Jug and Sniper banned out from Bane and Mirana Ganks. I think Jug would do okay against this Sand King Grimstroke lane because they have he has the spin to get out of the ink spell. It's pretty telegraphed, and I mean, Nvidia can still pick Lifestealer if they want to be able to somehow deal with the stanking lane, but maybe they'll just go for a ranged hero instead, and that can also work out.
Only 10 seconds. Radiant team pick.
I speak for the trees.
Ooh, Nature's Prophet coming out from Nvidia. I think this is probably going to be an offlane Prophet. It seems unlikely it's going to be any other lane. And Bane and Mirana Ganks going to have a Chaos Knight, and Nvidia, they're in a lot of trouble actually. They don't have much AoE. These heroes are very single target focused, and Shadow Shaman is not like Lion. He only has 1 spell that can insta clear an illusion, and
10 seconds to pick.
He has no talents that give him the ability to clear all the illusions. So once Lion grabs level 20, he has a pretty high chance to get rid of these Chaos Knight illusions. Now Video responding with their signature Invoker pick. They've clutched out a few games throughout the season with this Invoker pick. Bane and Mirana Ganks, they don't seem to care too much. They're just playing their own style. This is very Bane and Mirana Ganks focused. They pick some strong laners and then try and dominate the game through a pretty early advantage. And these heroes are pretty like staple for them as well. The Grimstroke, Sand King, and maybe not so much the Chaos Knight and Death Prophet, but it's a good game for Chaos Knight. Invoker is really their only chance to get any AoE control on him. I mean, a Deafening Blast could be pretty nice, I suppose. This math doesn't work out here. Okay, I just figured out the maths for the multicast. So it's somewhere close to like 1 in 7 that you won't get any multicast, which is pretty unlucky if you don't get that. It's a 14.875% chance. So which means he has like actually a 80, well, he has like 6 and 7 chance to get a multicast, 85% chance to get a multicast.
Only 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
PL banned out for Nvidia, but I don't think that makes that much sense. It's probably not going to be 4-position Grimstroke and a 3-position Chaos Knight. I think Nvidia's completely read the draft wrong here. This Chaos Knight, he's going core, and he's going to destroy everyone. There's 4 int heroes on the team right now, and he's going to be able to crush all of them with a Reality Rift and a single volley of attacks. So I don't know. I mean, even if it was like a 3-position Chaos Knight, I still think like you could pick AM instead, and that would have been pretty good as well. It seems like there's a lot of holes in Nvidia's draft right now. It's not really inspiring me with a lot of confidence.
Radiant team are now picking.
And Bane and Mirana Ganks gonna ban Ursa, who I didn't think would have done very well against them. And they picked the Lifestealer. Oh, okay. That's, maybe Nvidia did have the right read and I'm full of shit. But, it's gonna be 3-position Chaos Knight. I've seen them run this, like, Sand King Grimstroke lane as a 3-4 off lane, like, many times. So it's interesting that they've changed it up.
10 seconds to pick.
Lifestealer is definitely going to go on a rampage here, because
5 seconds remain.
there's nothing that really pieces BKB right now. But this is also such a terrifying lineup to teamfight into, right? Like the Ogre and the Shadow Shaman, compared to the Grimstroke and Sand King they're going to do pretty much nothing in team fights. Now Video's gonna go for like a Hail Mary Dusa, but Dusa, there's definitely more than enough damage to take out Dusa on Bane and Mirana Ganks. They do so much damage. Chaos Knight doesn't have minus armor anymore on Reality Rift, which is a bit sad for him, but he still hits pretty hard, even from the 3-position. So I think Bane and Mirana Ganks are probably gonna completely roll over Nvidia here, if I'm gonna be honest. I just don't see what the supports from Nvidia are going to be able to get done. They're just so... There's no like AoE control, and Chaos Knight is going to have a pretty free game. They're all very susceptible to the Lifestealer as well, and the Stone Gaze will buy a little bit of time, but you just need to not look at the Dusa and you'll be okay. You can go after the other heroes, and who's going to leave the Dusa for last in the team fights, and then try and take everyone else out first seems like the most reasonable response. But even then, I still think they have the damage to burst Deucer. So it's rough. But the Morris is playing Sand King, and the Morris is usually the off lane player. So maybe it might be a 4-position Chaos Knight. Nature's Prophet, what a spammer! All of the Dota Plus relics. But let's hop into the game. On the side of Microsoft Bane and Mirana Ganks, we have THC on the Grimstroke, Matthew NZ on the Death Prophet, ready? The Morris on the Sand King, Big Leaf on the Chaos Knight. Looks like he is going to be the support after all, and Yururu on the Lifestealer. The side of Nvidia got Cracklenaut on the Deucer. Pause coming out. I'm just going to slowly read them in the background. Weeby Zendrix on the Shadow Shaman. Virgil Fan in Barmer on the Ogre Magi, Phanthoma Lancera on the Invoker, and T on the Nature's Prophet. So nice short name, not too many syllables like Phanthoma Lancera. It's making it a lot easier to pronounce. And also like Virgil Fan in Barmer has a lot of syllables too. Gotta pick easy names, that's how people will remember you. Unless it's like a 3-word syllable, 3-letter acronym, and that's also pretty memorable, I suppose. T betraying his company, selling out and going for AMD cards.
Uproot and after them.
Early rune from DP, and I mean, a little bit unfortunate because they were all DC'd, but Invoker, I don't think he would have seen the DP put his ward down, so... But he's already got a sentry in anticipation, he just needs to figure out where it is. So there's a couple techniques that he can do. So the one thing is, if you stand here, if you look at the tower range here, if you stand right here, and you get hit by the tower, that means there's a ward that can see this area, right? So you know that the ward's on this side, and if you don't, and you're pretty convinced anyway that they have a ward, you can you pretty much know it's on this side if the tower doesn't attack you. So it's one way that you can figure out where the enemy ward is, but this only works on the Dire side, so finally something for the Dire to have a lane advantage from.
And so it begins.
Looks like these bounty runes are going to be pretty quiet here, nothing too crazy. So Shadow Shaman going to go in the offlane. It seems like he's going to be the position for this game. It does make more sense to Ogre can achieve a lot without farm as well, whereas Shadow Shaman kind of feels like he very much needs the farm. And maybe Ogre will go for a Midas anyway and try and scale that way. But it's going to be Chaos Knight and Grimstroke, which is a pretty scary lane. Chaos Spot comes out with a 2-second stun and big damage on T already. Is going to be able to walk off. THC also takes quite a beating, but... Oh, okay, yeah, this is the support duo. They're going to tri-lane with the Lifestealer against the Nature's Prophet. Just trying to make sure that Lifestealer gets a good start. And they've got Sand King against a Deucer. So Sand King really has nothing to fear up here. Deucer's not known for being the strongest in lane, especially in dual lanes. And there's no sentry either for the Sand King, so Sand King is just going to be able to cause a lot of havoc here in the top lane. Now, actually, Big Leaf decides to come up here. He's got another Chaos Spot if he wants to use it, and there's level 2 now on the Sand King, so he can go for an early Burrow Strike play. See if they want to go for it. Just going to back off a little bit. Deuce is not level 2 yet, so this is a good opportunity to get a lot of damage onto her. She didn't bring that much regen to the lane either, just 3 tangos. And Ogre only doesn't have a salve either. Fig Leaf also gets the D ward, which is pretty nice for them. And Virgil Famine Barber, I think he's going to be okay. He's an Ogre Magi, so it doesn't really matter if he takes Harassy. He's going to have to eat his way through the trees to be able to get back to the tower in a safe way. He doesn't want to walk the long way because then he will miss the experience, which is not ideal. But at the same time, Dusa would get the solo XP, so hey, all things considered. Cold Snap onto Matthew, but I mean, Invoker's already a level behind somehow. He's just getting out last hit here, 6 and 5 against 4 and 3. Senking just duking it out with the Dusa. He didn't go for a point in Caustic Finale, but it's not the best if you're up against a ranged hero, so that kind of makes sense. Let's see. So bot lane, this could get pretty scary, right? The Inkswell with the Lifestealer. He is a pretty fast hero. He's got boots now as well. 328 without boots. So with boots, he's going to be at 377. And then plus the 12% move speed from the Inkswell. I actually kind of hope that... Oh, meanwhile, Inkswell onto the Shadow Shaman. Medusa goes down at top open wounds on the Shadow Shaman. The Shackles will buy some time, but it seems like Wimmy Zendrix is going to die anyway. And picking up 2 kills on Bane and Mirana Ganks so far. T also eating a stroke of fate to the face. And I really want to see THC go for a max Inkswell build. I think it could be pretty nice this lane. You get a ton more extra damage, extra stun duration as well. And just the bonus move speed. It's really good on the Lifestealer to help him secure kills. He doesn't even need to commit his open wounds until after the stun wears off as well. And Crackle not, he just TP'd back into lane. He might be in a lot of trouble. Gets body blocked by the Morris. Nice body block so far. And the big leaf, he's got it. Mango, he pops it to get the Chaos Bolt onto the Dusa, taking her out. And Morris will sacrifice himself in the meantime, but Deuce is gonna walk back to lane now, and she's a very slow hero. 280 move speed. Seems like Bane and Mirana Ganks in traditional fashion winning all their lanes at the start. And the game is super easy once you do that, as it turns out. So 2 points at the Chaos spot already, and something that you can do as a support Chaos Knight. If you're a core Chaos Knight, it's kind of hard to justify not maxing out Chaos Strike first, because you want to stay in the lane and you want to be able to sustain in the lane. So Chaos Strike is usually the way to go. Alright, Invoker taking quite a beating here. Should be okay. He's about half a level behind, which is again not ideal. Eats a Crypt Swarm to the face, and it's getting pretty scary for him. Another Crypt Swarm might come out here, but Matthew's completely out of mana if he would do that. Sending a couple of mangoes his way, that'd be pretty nice for him. And 2 points in the Inkswell, so it seems like it's going to be this max Inkswell build. This will let the Lifestealer get pretty aggressive, and he's going to go for a Battle Fury, and I like this a lot. It helps him farm faster, even though he's not like a traditional Battle Fury here. But more importantly, it helps him get out of the Sprout, so he can justify keeping an item slot for the Quelling Blade, and also getting an item at the same time. Open wounds onto the Nature's Prophet. The Inkswell will pop as well. He might be able to TP out of here. Do they have enough damage? No, Nature's Prophet with a 6 armor will be able to get out of there. Nice heads up play from T, being able to weasel his way out of there. And DP, she's level 6 now, and the Siege Creep is here, so she can keep the Siege Creep alive for another wave. And well, ideally she wants to approach the tower with a double wave plus the Exorcism, so needs to hold the wave here for a little bit while her creeps arrive, I guess, but not lose the creeps. Yeah, whatever. So Chaos Bolt comes out onto the Dusa, 2 seconds again, and a Burrow Strike will do a lot of damage to the Dusa, but looks like she's going to be okay. Manages to steal some mana from the creeps and the Chaos Knight. And Fig Leaf might be in a bit of trouble here, but the Ogre has no more mana, so isn't going to be able to get the kill. And there's no detection for the Sand King either, so Ogre also taking quite a beating here. But Yuru's actually getting quite low, but he's decided not to go for the phase boots first and decided to pick up the Ring of Health instead to help him sustain in the lane a bit. Maybe? He's got 2 points in Feast as well. Maybe he just doesn't want to buy another salve. I feel like he would be better served getting the phase boots, and it should allow him to get more kills. And then he just needs to purchase a salve and then heal back up to 4. Even better yet, THC can buy the salve and do that for him. Maybe just wants to survive through this like Ether Shock spam. It's pretty annoying to deal with if as a life stealer. So, DP, full level up almost, and not gonna pop Exo yet. Alright, top, and big epicenter onto. No, the epicenter gets cancelled by the ogre. Crowdwood is going to be able to get out of here. Nice stun from the ogre, being able to get rid of the epicenter. So that's 2 minutes without it. It's going to be a while before they can threaten this Dusa again. She's got enough points in the mana shield that suddenly it's going to be quite difficult for her to take down. Quite difficult to take her down. Although if she stands in the sandstorm, it's probably not that good. They have a sentry at last, but the Morris is going to be okay here. Midas on T. I guess he wants to like take this later into the game, but honestly, I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like Deuce is going to get crushed in the late game, and maybe they just want him to get like hit this like mid to late game timing. But they need to make sure they don't get run over here. They're doing okay so far. It's actually less than a 1k gold advantage, all things considered. So they're farming okay. The Morris is getting pretty low, but he'll be able to Burrow Strike his way out of there. Arcane Rune at top, but not gonna be able to see it. No, actually, Invoker should be. He should see the glimmer. He can see the aura of the Arcane Rune, but he doesn't see the rune on his mini-map. He's actually gone for treads, which is something we don't see too often on Invoker. It's normally either phase boots or just keep brown boots straight into BTs later. He's going for an exhort build, so this is kind of odd. He's trying to get a few more right clicks in. But straight into the Ags, no Midas business here. I mean, NP's already going for Ags, but Midas, sorry. But Midas is really good on Invoker, even if you don't get it for the gold. Getting it for the experience is pretty ideal on him because every level matters on Invoker, unlike other heroes where the levels don't really matter after like level 18. 10-minute bounty runes, and it's going to be 3 for 1, so Microsoft pulling ahead a little bit there, but this game's still pretty close, 10 minutes in. Dusa gets Burrow Striked, and a Chaos Bot comes out, only 2 seconds, but the Epicenter comes out in time. Crowdwood getting chased down here. Another Reality Rift will drag in Crowdwood, but he's going to be okay at a fully charged wand, and will be able to heal his way out of that gank. I guess this is definitely one of the problems with Sand is as an offlaner, his damage really caps out after you've unleashed the combo, and afterwards there's not much damage left. Maybe it could have been an offlane CK instead and focused on getting damage on him. NP, might be in a bit of trouble here. He sprites himself to save himself, though you could have cut the tree down. Not really sure what happened there. Seems like something he was definitely capable of doing, but they're going to be okay. Big stroke of fate onto the 2 heroes. And Lifestealer gets sprouted, but he's going to cut his way out of there. Wonder if they figured out he's actually going for a Battle Fury over it yet. It's definitely a little bit odd on Lifestealer. It's also not going Midas either, which is a bit uncommon too. You really need the attack speed on Lifestealer, which is why it's so good. This hero doesn't get a lot of attack speed normally. He already hits hard enough as well, so the plus damage is kind of like eh. A cleave is nice though to help him farm. Top lane, not too much happening, so bit of a snooze fest so far, I would say. DP going for an ATOS, so trying to get nice and aggressive early on. Fig Leaf's gonna go down here to the Ignite, so Ogre not being just a Bloodlust bot, he actually is maxing out Ignite first, which is definitely the better of Ogre spells. If you're going to go for an aggressive build, it's better than Fire Blast, because Fire Blast, the mana cost goes up by heaps, and the damage to mana cost ratio is not very high. But also Ignite, it does a ton of damage. It does like 400 damage. And then it also slows for a long time as well. 8 seconds slow.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Nice Soulbind onto the two heroes. There's no waifu for Grimstroke yet, but a double open wounds will slow them down significantly. And the X-Bolt will stun the NP as well. And now the whole team is down here. DP came down here for a rotation. So they might have to go for a tower push here. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. 7 wards were dropped on the tower. They're going to be able to deny it. But it's just giving Invoker space to catch up.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied. Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
He's actually not too far behind the DP. He's pretty farmed.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
So Chaos Knight with max Chaos spell now, 2 to 4 second stun. It's pretty nice for him. Yeah, 2 to 4. The Stroke of Fate does so much damage. Also, THC, he only put 2 points in the Ink Spell. I'm a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, he can use this Ink Spell to push away the Treants, which is pretty nice for him. So I could understand it. I'm not that salty. I like the 2 points during the laning phase because it just keeps the Lifestealer on the aggressive. You could have learnt the silence, but it wasn't really going to do that much. Alright, well, CK, he wants to fight. He's got 372 move speed. Atos onto the Deucer, and she gets silenced, so she can't use the Stone Gaze yet. The Exorcism comes out, she can turn on the Stone Gaze, and she's gonna do just that. Matthew, he's just trying not to look at the Deucer, but he gets turned to stone, but Deucer's not attacking him, and he's free to reign on the back lines with this Exorcism. Pretty much unstopped. TP's in, but he's gonna go down, and Matthew on a complete rampage now. Gonna Atos the Deucer again. Deucer goes down anyway. Soulbind onto the Invoker, and he links up with the Ogre. So a Burrow Strike can come out at any moment, but it's not going to quite make it. And Fig Leaf bringing dust here, anticipating the Invoker's appearance, and gets taken out as well. So the last target from the side of Narvita will get taken down here very slowly. It's an Ogre, it takes a while, and they took that fight 4v5. They didn't even need the Life Stealer there. So a great fight from Microsoft, Bane and Mirana. Ganks getting a 2k gold swing, and Nature's Prophet, he's TP'd back in. Why would he do that? He's just gonna die here. He uses the Sprout to buy some time. THC uses a smoke. Oh, actually, Deucer manages to get a kill onto Fig Leaf. That's what the smoke was probably for, to try and disjoint the projectile, but Fig Leaf ended up dying anyway, so a little bit of a waste. I guess they got something out of it, but their whole team got wiped, and that's generally not good. Alright, Shadow Shaman, he's gonna drop the wards again for the tower. Needs to focus fire the tower with the wards, and the treants come out as well, but the wards are bloody blocking the treants. Oh, they definitely have enough range. And DP manages to deny the tower in time. Reality Rift onto the Shadow Shaman, but it's the support Chaos Knight, so he doesn't actually do that much damage here. He's gonna go for an Aether Lens, so the extra cast range on the Reality Rift. Matthew's gonna farm up these, oh, Sunstrike came out, but didn't really see where it went. It wasn't on the Chaos Knight, so that's not gonna be able to convert any kills from that. So NP, he's gonna open with a Shadow Blade. I think this could be quite nice to be able to catch people by surprise, but he needs a follow-up item to disable his opponent somehow. Even though he can sprout them, they can always cut them way out of the tree, like this Lifestealer here. And he's got a lot of gold banked up. He gets hexed. The shackles won't go off before he manages to rage out, but that was a pretty low percentage kill anyway, because after the shackles there's not much lockdown left. So I don't think they were going to get that in any stretch of the imagination. Ogre trying to put down an aggressive ward. He spots the Grimstroke and throws it Ignite. So it's pretty clear that there's a ward here now. And THG is going to instantly de-ward that. I think that was a big misplay by the Ogre Magi. Should not have revealed the fact that he saw the Grimstroke. So DP gonna go straight for an Ags after the Atos. I like this a lot. Ags is such a good item on DP. Just gives her the extra sustain. She's finally gonna blow the Exorcism for the mid tower, which something that usually happens around the 6-minute mark. But Invoker's been doing a pretty good job of keeping this lane pushed in with his Forge Spirit. So Matthew hasn't had a chance to blow the Exorcism onto the tower yet. The tower will go down here. Blink forward from the Morris. It gets a burrow strike onto Wimmy Zendrix, and that's the blink reveal. Can they get any more out of it? He gets reality rifted back. The Stone Gaze is gonna save the Shadow Shaman for a little bit of time, and he actually gets out of there. So nice counter initiation from the Deucer, but are they gonna be able to get anything else out of it? The Morris, he gets spotted here. The Fire Blast on him as well. He should ignite him. And no dust for 7 seconds. Ogre might go down here. This was pretty risky for him, but it looks like he'll be okay. The DP doesn't quite do enough damage yet. And the Stroke of Fate will whiff, even though it didn't. Oh, Sunstrike, where is that going? I keep hearing these Sunstrikes, but I don't see them anywhere. And there's no, like, mini-map indication for observers, so it's kind of weird. But Lifestealer finally done with his Battle Fury. It's kind of late, although it is like a Lifestealer Battle Fury. It's not clear what the timing should be. Oh, this Courier almost died in one hit, but will be able to use the invincibility. He's gonna go down anyway. It flies backwards. Oh no! They needed to fly it north. 4-second stun onto the Deucer, but Deucer is gonna be okay. They needed to fly it north through the trees, but they didn't manage to do that. And Ogre is baiting pretty hard here. The Phantasm comes out, the Dust comes out onto the Sand King, and double Soulbind onto the 2 heroes here. And Fig Leaf is looking for other targets. He gets Ink Sword, and Deucer's gonna go down as well. So 3 heroes for not a whole lot. They don't get anything in return. So pretty big swing going their way. 1100 gold swing, and more importantly, they get the Deucer, who's going for a Blade Mail Mask of Madness, which is quite an interesting build. The Blade Mail is nice against all this like AoE damage from the Sand King, and I don't think you can reflect Exorcism damage to the DP. But maybe I'm like thinking about this wrong. I'm pretty sure that Exorcism doesn't. You can't reflect it, right? Alright, well I have to look this up in the meantime, but right, well NP, he TP's in behind them, and it's gonna spot them with the Treants now. So 20-minute bounty runes, Nature's Prophet, he gets, he used his Shadow Blade, so he looks like he might be able to get out, but the Dust comes out. They're just always prepared here, and NP's gonna go down. That's a pretty big kill. That's not a support NP like you see most of the pro teams play. This is a core NP. It's pretty important that he goes down. Invoker, he's got his Ags now, but he doesn't have a courier to deliver it to him. He should probably go home and pick it up, because he's had it for... Okay, no, maybe he just got it, because he just bought the... He only has 70 gold, but it's time for Invoker to start getting involved in fights, because his team really needs him. But DP's already got Ags. Invis picked up by Chaos Knight. The Dust used on him, but they're not going to be able to get a kill out of this, so a bit of a wasted Dust. And it looks like Ogre's going to go for the Midas, but it's going to be quite a while before he gets it, and it's going to be quite a while before it pays off. Rage TP from the Lifestealer, but not going to be able to get anything out of it. There's not much to cancel this this Lifestealer's Rage, probably for most of the game. Maybe... Oh, stun onto the Deucer, and Deucer's caught out here. The Epicenter comes out as well. The Blade Mail will help slow this down a bit, but it's not really going to scare off the Morris here. He barely took any damage from that Blade Mail reflected Epicenter. Yeah. DP ulti comes out as well, and they can go for mid afterwards. Yuryu's pushing in mid lane, so after they take this tower, which is going to be pretty fast, DP can just walk her way to the mid lane and take that as well. So Microsoft playing at a blazing tempo. The Atos comes out onto the Ogre Magi, and he's going to go down again. And I guess the Exorcism is running out, so it's too late to go mid. But I mean, they can still go mid. They're pretty far ahead. But I guess Invoker hasn't really revealed himself in a while. He has had the Ags, but hasn't really been involved in any fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
The Morris almost done with a Guardian Greaves, and once he gets that, his team is going to be very difficult to take down because they don't have much in the way of burst damage. They have a lot of sustained damage. Invoker is going to get caught out here. 4-second Chaos Bolt, a bit of a wasted Burrow Strike because they could have changed it up a bit more. But it looks like mass TP is going to come out from Nvidia, and they're going to be able to save their Invoker. So Dragon Lance next on the Deucer. I do think that Hurricane Pike is probably the right idea here, but she's so far behind right now. The lowest of the cores in the game. And I don't see like when she's gonna get enough damage to challenge the Lifestealer. Lifestealer with an S and Y now. It's gonna be moving very fast. He's almost got it, like 30 gold off.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
He's these ghosts coming out.
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
Alright, well, NP, he's riding top, and this is kind of the game plan right now for Nvidia. They're just gonna try and push out, keep the waves shoved out as much as they can, try not to get picked off, and then farm their way to the late game. But once they get to the late game, I'm still not really sure how they're gonna be able to take the fight. I mean, God forbid Lifestealer buys a BKB at some point. He's gonna have like 16 seconds of magic immunity. And Greaves now done on the Sand King. So it looks like Microsoft want to group up around this Greaves now. And DP going for an Octarine core next as well. It's going to keep her just that little bit extra unkillable. Which she's already quite tanky. She doesn't have a whole lot of armor, but a lot of HP, raw HP. So it's pretty good against the Invoker. Deuce doesn't quite do enough damage to threaten the DP yet. And Lifesteal looks like he's ready to fight. He hops inside the Sand King, and if they spot the Invoker, they spot the Deucer instead. They're going to jump right onto the Deucer. The Epicenter comes out, and it looks like Deucer's going to get instantly taken out here before the rest of his team can respond. The Tornado comes out way too late. Karagonaut will drop, so it's going to be a pretty free tier 2, and they can go for more if they want. They can force the Deucer to buy back, and it looks like that's going to be the case. A long time still on this Exorcism. It's about halfway done, so see how much damage he can get onto this tower. There's no creeps for some reason, but the creeps are finally here. Backdoor protection is disabled, and nighttime turns, so they activate the glyph, and it's time to back out. Nature's Prophet, is he gonna get the courier? Oh, nice reactions on the courier, managing to protect it for a little bit. Lifestealer TP's top and grabs the bounty runes, and meanwhile Matthew goes bot and grabs the bounty runes. So NP, he could have TP'd to the bounty runes and taken at least 2 of them, but instead they end up losing all 3. So I think a bit of a misplay from T there, not focusing on the objectives. The courier snipe would be nice, but it's not really worth as much as the bounty runes. CK with a blink now. Gets the Reality Rift onto the Invoker, but not being able to follow up. A quick Tornado from the Invoker will save his life. Luckily, he already had that queued up. He's gonna go for a Yules. Pretty interesting. Seems like he wants to get rid of the DP silence. Seems like the best way to do it. But I feel like he should probably just go for a BKB instead at this point, because I fear that he's going to use the Yules to protect himself for a little bit, and then the rest of his team is going to die in the meantime, and he's going to come down from the Yules and then die himself. So, not really sure if Yules is the way to go here. Pipe next on the Sand King, so going back for the more traditional offlane items after picking up the Blink, and I think this is definitely the way to play Sand King these days. He doesn't really need anything else. Inkswell comes out, but there's no Blink on the Sand King, so they're not going to go for anything. Also, there's this Ob Sentry combo up here, so the side of our video do see them coming. Aegis Prophet TP's top to cut the wave a little bit. There's only one creep wave they need to take care of. They need to take care of it before it reaches the backdoor protection spot. But Dusa walks forward too far, gets ATOS and Blink Burrow Striked in. Looks like she's gonna go down again. Unable to get the Stone Gaze off one more time. Virgil, Fan, and Bummer will go down as well. And Dusa has no buyback. The big Sunstrike Meteor combo coming out onto the DP, but not going to be able to result in much. A 2-man Burrow Strike will take out the Shadow Shaman, and looks like Invoker will go down as well. Invoker also with no buyback. 2 heroes buyback, the Ogre and the Shadow Shaman both buyback, and looks like Microsoft has started the retreat. They've forced a bunch of buybacks and gotten 2 big kills on the Dusa and the Invoker. So they're pretty happy with what they came with. They're pretty happy with what they got. So it's not too bad, and they can go for the Roche now as well. Exo is back up, but maybe you don't really need to use it for the Roshan. What's Grimstroke working on? Does he have a Hex now? No, he doesn't yet. It's a 5 position Grimstroke, so his farm's going to come a little bit slower than expected. And Fig Leaf going to go for his own heart. Actually, switch to his switch to an armlet, but he's going to slowly be able to deal more damage once he picks up the armlet. It's going to be pretty tough to take down for a support as well. So, alright, so Invoker going for a BKB after the Yules. I think he may have wanted to pick up the Yules to set up the Sunstrike combos, but he did okay in that last fight. He managed to get the Sunstrike Meteor onto the DP, but it just wasn't enough. DP is so tanky right now. Almost has a full Octarine core, just about 2,000 gold away, 1,500 gold away. Wow, so many ghosts. And Exorcism comes out now. And they're going to push this tower. No more Glyph on the side of Nvidia. Soulbind onto the 2 heroes on the side. A double Chaos Spot comes out. And a double stun from the Sand King as well. Double Reality Rift Dragon both into the center. And they both go down here. Dusa managing to get off the Stone Gaze this time. But now she's also out of mana right now. And she can't really fight anymore. She's going to get Burrow Strike from long range. And taken out instantly as well. 3 heroes with no buyback. And this game is looking incredibly rough for Nvidia now. Nature's Prophet manages to cut the wave with his Treant, so buying his team a little bit of time, but they got the important kill, they got the Dusa. The Chaos Knight goes for another Phantasm. Yeah, there's no creeps in mid. DP's gonna BTs to the creep wave in mid lane and push them out. The 30-minute batteries are up now, so we'll see if Microsoft want to leave, but it's 14 seconds without the Dusa, and they probably know that she doesn't have buyback because she hasn't bought back the last 2 times. And Phantomo gets blown up as well. 52 seconds without buyback, and NP's gonna go down as well. So they're going to get this Rax here. 19k gold ahead, and this game's looking incredibly grim for them. They finally are able to take a lane of Rax. It looks like they're going to go for the throne. They just don't really care. Another nice Soulbind. 2-man Burrow Strike onto the 2 of them. And another nice double Reality Rift. And Dusa will go down again. Dusa's just melting here, and 4 seconds stun on the Ogre. It's gonna get finished off eventually. And GG's called, so Microsoft Bane and Mirana Ganks, they're just slaying people as they usually do, and we'll see if Nvidia are able to change something up to do better in game number 2. I feel like their support duo just like straight up wasn't that good. If you compare the Chaos Knight and the Grimstroke to the Ogre and Shadow Shaman, they just were able to get so much more done. So we'll see how game number 2 goes.